Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am I. I am still Joshua Ansley after all this time. So, this week in class, I was asking, what is yoga, right? And I left it open like that. And, I would get some erudite scholarly answers of, yoga is to yoke or to join, which is wonderful. And, that would be me. That'd be the one who's been like, oh, I know, it's to yoke and to join, which is true, right? That is literally the translation of it. And actually I was starting that way, segueing into, what yoga is, right? And what's not yoga. And like my company, when I teach yoga, is called That's Not Yoga, because the first class I ever taught, I said something like namaste bitches, and people walked out of the class. And then I got in trouble and I went and apologized to them, and they were like, that's not yoga. And I was like, that is a great name for my company, thank you. So there you have it, right? But ironically, what I was always studying, the traditional stuff, is very much, yoga. And I had a little chip of my shoulder at times being like, that's not yoga. Like, this is yoga, and this is really what it is. And as I started asking this question in class, because, leading towards, of course, my boy JC, one of the greatest yoga celebrities there is, who said, Matthew 11:30, take my yoke, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light, right? So he was just a yoga teacher, right? And there's many ways to interpret that, of course. Who the fuck says that I'm right or anybody's right, right? The point is, as I started asking this question, I started to realize, and I've realized this over my journey, of course, but that really, what is it to us, right? And see, I have such a desire. Perfectionism is one of my biggest things. So I'm like, no, I've got to get this right? And for what? For what? There isn't even a fucking right and wrong. There really isn't. And now I've learned that through the teachings, right? But I started to realize, I started to ask, well, when nobody was answering, because somebody would say, it's to join, to bring into union or whatever. And I started to ask, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? And then I started to get all these answers. People started lighting up a little bit. It means freedom. It means the breath. It means expression. It means connecting mind, body, and spirit, and all this kind of shit. Whatever it is, right? All this beautiful stuff started to pop out, because it really doesn't fucking matter what yoga is. It really doesn't. Because I could tell you from all different perspectives, and I know a lot of great teachers who teach some really profound teachings and teach truth, Vedanta, the culmination of all knowledge. This is the end of all knowledge. This is truth, capital T, not relative truth, absolute truth. Suck it. Because if we do not make it personal, if we don't find out what it means to us, it doesn't mean a fucking thing. It is all just a bunch of bullshit. And then we're trying and we're striving to be something, and that is exactly the opposite point of it. It's not about trying to be something. It's that we already are. Now, of course, now I'm just giving my opinions of what yoga is, right? Because we talk about yoga is to yoke, or to unite. And people say mind, body, and soul, right? Spirit, whatever. And while I agree with that, right? Because there isn't a right and wrong. It's great if that's what it means to you. Whatever mind and body and spirit means to fucking you, right? But for me, it's about making distinctions. It's actually separating. It's separating my mind, my body, my spirit, my intellect, my emotions, all this different stuff, so I could actually, instead of yoking to them, I actually separate all of them, make clear distinctions in what they are. And what I'm doing is yoking back to myself, to that core, that divine nature of who we truly are, right? And from that divine self, then from that space of actionless that does not move, and this is all Vedantic philosophy, then from that space, then we operate the mind and the body from that space, right? From that space of wholeness and completeness. And that is who we truly are at our core. So, I give all these teachings. Every week I'm talking about, well, it's this, or this perspective. And it's really, I have no fucking idea. And neither do the people who fucking teach it. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck if you're Jesus motherfucking Christ. You don't know jack shit. You only know your experience. Now, I get it that they will say that once you step out of your mind and out of your experience. I heard a great teacher once Shannon Gannon, Sharon, whatever, right? Jiva Mukti. And she was talking about that you can't even trust your own experience. Careful, this is how you get into cults, because you stop trusting your own self, right? Not that Jiva Mukti is a cult. I don't give a fuck. It is. I'm part of tons of cults, you know? It's just a group of people coming together that are living outside of the norm. I can't wait to start my own cult. I want my own cult, right? So the idea was that you can't even trust your own experience, because your own experience would tell you that you've seen the sun rise from one side and set on the other side. You've seen that happen, but your experience is wrong. You'd be like, absolutely, I've seen that shit happen. That is my experience of it. So we can't even trust our own experience. So outside of our own experience, that's how we need to listen to a teacher now, somebody who's gone down the path. And I don't disagree with this, but ultimately that teacher can only try and show you about yourself. It's basically understanding what it is that you need. What do you need? What does yoga mean to you? I don't give a fuck if it's right or wrong. What is it to you from where you're at right now? Because I could give you a million different perspectives. Because there are teachers that talk about we need to go to the intellect and need to manage our emotions and learn to manage our emotions. Then there's teachers that say that we work in the emotions or the guidance system through life, and we need to work through our emotions, and we need to, the heart comes first, or the mind comes first, or the intellect comes first, or blah, 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 whatever, all this shit. What speaks to you? What speaks to you? But stay open. But stay open. Know what you need right now, and that might be different tomorrow. Maybe what you need is to be told what you need. Maybe what you need is to be told what to do, and that's where you find your fucking teacher, right? But we are all so different. If you think you know what someone else needs, you better fucking check yourself. Because you might even be right, about what someone else needs to do, but you have no idea where they're at on their journey. You can't even possibly comprehend. I've seen so many different ways of teaching. My mind has been changed so many different ways. It has been transformed, and that is the point, to get even outside of that. So that, again, outside of the mind, right? But I've seen the transformation happen in the intellect and understanding and discernment, to recognize that I am none of it, that I don't mean a damn thing. So I can understand where somebody needs to heal, somebody needs to be loved, somebody needs to be told how absolutely fucking worthy they are. And let me tell you, you are absolutely fucking worthy. You are worthy and beautiful. But some other people need to be told, shut the fuck up and sit down because you don't know what you're doing. Right? Because this idea of, it's like, if you don't love me, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. What? Some of you need to hear, bitch, if you can't handle yourself at your worst, then you shouldn't be in a fucking relationship. Period. Right? Get your fucking shit together. Now, that's just my opinion, right? Because I am always all about working on myself. To a degree, it's actually a bad thing. Right? That's one of my character flaws, is that I'm always looking at myself and taking all the burden of responsibility on myself, because it's all about how I'm relating to the world. So it's got to be something that's like, fuck that. There are some fucked up, crazy, sick-ass motherfuckers in this world that are going to fuck your world up. But you stay in love, right? You stay in love. You detach with love. I love everybody who's ever hurt me. I try to love everybody who's ever hurt me. Forgive them, for they know not what they do, and forgive me, for I know not what I do. Because I see that all the shit that I see in them is actually just a reflection. All the beautiful things that I saw in them is how beautiful I am. And all the shit that I see in them is a reflection of the shit that's in me, and that's okay. The only way out of that is to love. So I'm just rambling now, of course, right? But there's all these different perspectives. So we've got to find out what this is your fucking journey. I could tell you there's 10,000 lifetimes, and maybe that will change the way you operate in this world, and understanding karma and understanding all this stuff that will transform the way your fucking mind works, right? Maybe you need to hear you've got one fucking life, so don't fuck it up. Let's go and fucking live it. That this is your only fucking chance. So you got to seize every fucking moment and learn to live from spirit. Learn to live from a place of beauty and love now, in this moment. That is heaven on earth. Or maybe you need to hear 10 million other different fucking things. Just find out what you need. Maybe what you need is to find out what you need. To write it the fuck down. What is this practice to you? What is this breath to you? What is yoga to you? What is life to you? What is this fucking life to you? And go out and fucking live it, people. In Lakesha Lakin, I am you, you are me. Namaste.
What? Too much?